Hello everybody, welcome to Totally Tabled. My name is Shaggy, and today I'm quickly running down my top 10 most anticipated solo games coming out this year in 2022. Maybe. All of these games are coming out this year according to Board Game Geek. Now, does that mean that they'll actually come out this year? Absolutely not. Will they come out in 2023? No, probably not. But will at least a few of these games come out this year? Yes. In fact, I'm certain that at least two are. I don't know, I'd put the over-under maybe on 5 or so. I want to make it clear I'm anticipating these games. That doesn't mean that I've done a whole lot of research on them. For the most part, I'm pretty ill-informed about almost all of these games, but there's a little something that has me excited. And so I'm going to describe that, but don't expect that I'm an expert on any of these. Yeah, on the helpful scale, this video ranks pretty low, but literally everyone is making a video like this, so I thought, why shouldn't I do it? That's enough talk. Let's just jump right into the list already with number 10, Resurgence. Resurgence is probably the game that I know the least about. I do know that I've enjoyed previous games by this designer, especially Dice Hospital, really fun game. And in fact, I have Rurik waiting to be played. I haven't quite gotten to the table yet, but I'm excited to. This has a post-apocalyptic theme, which I enjoy typically. In fact, this won't be the only post-apocalyptic game on the list, but what really has me excited about this one is that it's, as far as I can tell, a bag building worker placement Euro. And that's music to my ears. I have enjoyed almost every other game of that sort. So, good designer, sounds like really interesting mechanisms, post-apocalyptic. That's enough to get me at least a little bit excited for my number 10, Resurgence. Number 9 is Carnegie. It just has an absolute all-star designer who's done so many great games like Ginkopolis, which, by the way, Ginkopolis is back in print, and you need to go grab a copy of that sucker. That is a fantastic game. But also like Black Angel and is it Troyes, however you pronounce that game. That is another great one. I mean, this guy produces hit after hit after hit. And this looks like another one, medium to heavy Euro with a solo mode. So, I mean, I'm in. And unlike the rest of these games, I've actually played one game of this on Board Game Arena. It's there, you can play it. It even has the solo mode, and there appears to be some really clever stuff going on. I was kind of messing around with it. I hadn't completely read the rules. I was a little confused about what was going on, but I would like to play it more. I'm kind of waiting for the physical version because I don't think it's that far off, and I'm the kind of person who I would much rather mess around with the physical version than an online version. But there really seemed to be a lot of interesting, clever stuff, as you would expect. This just seems like it's going to be, one of those Euros that's right in my wheelhouse. So I'm very excited about this one. The theme doesn't do that much for me personally. Everything else looks like it's going to be great. So that's number 9, Carnegie. Number 8 is Primal. And this is a style of game that I don't have that many in my collection. And that's one of the reasons why I'm excited about it. This is a co-op where you are battling giant monsters, using card combos, and it just sounds like really fun. I've heard some really good buzz about the hand management and the card play. It looks like it involves a little bit of, tactical positioning, and there's some player interaction as you're helping each other. Sounds really cool. And I also love that you could do both a sort of a one-shot encounter or play sort of a more epic campaign. I like having that choice of doing either one of those. Looks like it has really great minis. I don't really care that much about that, but I don't know. Seems unique, and again, something that would be unique in my collection. So that's why I have high hopes for this one. That's number 8, Primal. Number 7 is Earthborn Rangers. This one might actually have been a little lower on the list, or higher, however you want to think about it, but I'm a little worried about it, and mostly just because of how ambitious this project seems to be. At sort of first glance, it appears to resemble a living card game, something like Arkham Horror or something, with a deck construction element. It says in the description it has branching narrative campaign with main and side stories. And it also mentions exploring an open world, which I'm very curious how that works. But honestly, that phrase, instantly has my attention. If you followed the channel at all, you know that I'm sort of a sucker for exploration in games. So really curious how that works. And the setting here seems really cool. It's like a futuristic sci-fi wilderness. I read someone describing it as a solar punk. So that's intriguing. I don't know. I'm a fan of ambition, and I think that it should be rewarded. And so I choose to remain hopeful and excited for this one. I really hope they pull it off. That's my number 7, Earthborn Rangers. Number 6 is Distilled. Okay, so first things first, the theme. I'm a classic cocktail enthusiast, so I love the idea of crafting spirits and selling them. We have a bunch of great games about making beer and wine, and so I'm kind of hoping that this one can sort of join in with those great games. Honestly, the gameplay of what I've seen has me intrigued. There appears to be sort of a push your luck aspect that, I don't know, is sort of reminiscent of coffee roasters or something, where you're pulling cards from your deck and you hope to sort of draw the stuff that you need. So you're kind of building your deck and then sort of pushing your luck, hoping to draw some good stuff. I don't know. I enjoy a bit of push your luck if it's implemented in sort of an intelligent way. So I don't know. This one definitely has my attention. I'm curious what the complexity of this one's going to end up being. I'm kind of hoping that it's going to fit in with that sort of viticulture, mid-weight, that kind of sweet spot. I don't know. We'll see. It looks great. Yeah, super excited about this one. Number 6, Distilled. Number 5 is Frostpunk. And again, I got one word for you, Cube Tower. The Cube Tower has never let me down. The Loop was one of my favorite games from last year. Shogun's great. I even adore Amerigo. That's how much I love the Cube Tower. Amerigo is great, by the way. Really underrated. Yeah, so anyway, I'm all in for Cube Towers. The second thing is, this is the designer of Nemesis, which is a fantastic game. I can't wait to feature that one on the channel. The thing is, I'm not even that familiar with the IP or the video game at all. That's really not what this is about. I do love city building, and I love survival games. And I'm a fan of post-apocalyptic settings. We have another post-apocalyptic setting here. So that combo is, right up my alley. This one actually looks like it's going to be fairly complex, fairly involved. I think the weight on the BGG page had it near a 4 out of 5. This looks like it's going to be sort of a heavy city building survival game. I don't know. That sounds great. And just look at these photos. If you're not excited looking at these photos, the whole thing just looks absolutely fantastic. So really, really have my fingers crossed on this one. That's number 5, Frostpunk. My number 4 is one that should be out pretty soon, I believe, and that's Burn Cycle. This is by Chip Theory Games, right? The makers of many beloved solo games, including Too Many Bones and Cloudspire. I was about to say ashamed to say, I'm not ashamed, but I sadly have not jumped into those games. I have not really gotten those to the table as much as I want to. And one of my goals for this year is to actually tackle some of those games, but honestly, I might be starting with this one. This might end up being my first Chip Theory game, mostly because I don't know, this one sounds really like something I'll enjoy. I like this theme and setting. I guess it's far future and robots are trying to take down an evil human-run corporation or something like that. That sounds like fun. And it appears that this game is going to have that sort of puzzly element with the action selection and stuff that really lands for me. I really like that puzzly nature, especially in a solo game. Yeah, I think this one might actually, be better for me than maybe some of those other ones. Yeah, hopefully it'll come soon, and when it does, I think it's going to hit the table pretty quick. So that's going to be my number 4, Burn Cycle. Number 3 is Lands of Galzir. I haven't done enough research to know if that's how you pronounce that. I'm going to go with Galzir. But I do know that this is from the designer of Dale of Merchants. This is another open world adventure game, which is set in that same Dale of Merchants universe, which is super cute. Get a little bit of Sleeping Gods vibes here, right? So that's one reason why I'm pretty excited about it. There also seems to be this system where previous games are affecting future games, creating some kind of persistent world. Not sure how that works. There's also sort of an app that is going to let you go through the story elements, and I don't know, it just looks really charming. It looks like a world that I'd want to explore. I don't know, you have a great designer behind it all. So this one is high on my hoping that it lives up to some of the hype that I have for it, because I feel like this might be another Sleeping Gods experience, and I just can't get enough of that kind of thing. So that's my number 3, Lands of Galzir. Number 2 is Iridia, The Paths We Dare Tread. Again, another title that I'm not sure that I'm pronouncing correctly. Sorry if I'm not. But this actually looks a lot like my number 3 pick, except this looks to be a more serious, more complex take on that same open world co-op campaign adventure style game. This one looks like it's very focused on a kind of fantasy RPG sort of experience with, exploration and combat and treasure seeking and things like that. All stuff I love. And this is by the designer of Zaya, right? That crazy huge space adventure sandbox game. And I love that this one seems, we were talking about ambition before. This one seems like it's packed with so many cool ideas, just like Zaya, right? And I love the ambition. I love the look of this one. Just can't wait to get this one to the table. That is, I think, Iridia, The Paths We Dare Tread. And my number 1 most anticipated solo game of 2022 is Weather Machine. This is Vital Lacerda's next game. I am a huge, giant Lacerda fan. I have all of his, deluxe games from Eagle Griffin with the Ian O'Toole artwork. That series of games is like, the heart of my collection. It's fantastic. I just adore it, and I can't wait to add Weather Machine to those beautiful stacks of games there. This looks like vintage Lacerda, complex, puzzly, head-exploding stuff, interconnected mechanisms, and the fact that there is, there's going to be a solitaire mode designed by David Turtzi is super exciting. For some reason, I'm just really excited for that in particular. So this is one of those games where this is either your jam or it's not. This is definitely for me, and I just can't wait. Can't wait to play my number 1 most anticipated game, Weather Machine. And that's it. 10 games. 10 games that I'm looking forward to. There's a ton more. There's a lot of interesting stuff that should be coming this year, or being delayed till next year. But we got a lot of great things on the horizon. How about you folks write which games you're most excited for in 2022? Write those down in the comments. Thank you so much for listening, and goodbye.